Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches, padres de familia, invitados. Welcome, minor families, to our annual meeting. We have a Title III Family Literacy Night planned for you for this evening. On behalf of the teachers, the staff, administration, I would like to thank you for joining your child or your children this evening for a wonderful night of literacy activities. Studies have shown that reading is the #1 predictor of students' learning success in school. If a student comes to school on a regular basis and takes part in activities that deal with literacy, they are going to naturally want to do better in school. So we would like to encourage all our parents, all our minor parents, to put literacy at the front line and as a priority in your home. On behalf of our teachers and staff, we hope that you enjoy and treasure the minor memories that will be made this evening with your child and your family. I invite you to continue spending time with your child, reading for different purposes. And I know that in school they're learning to read for different purposes, to entertain, to persuade, to inform. But for this evening, I would like for your family to have the gift of enjoying a good book. Okay, so if we could please work on including reading in the home as an activity, as something for enjoyment. Again, thank you for visiting our campus this evening for our Family Literacy Night. Bienvenidos familias a nuestra Junta Anual Título 3, Noche de Literatura Familiar. Gracias por acompañar a su hijo esta noche de maravillosas actividades sobre la literatura. Los estudios han demostrado que la lectura es el predictor número 1 hacia el éxito del aprendizaje al estudio. Eso quiere decir que los niños que están leyendo libros de diferentes niveles, de diferentes formas, van a poder exponerse más a las palabras, al vocabulario y a la comprensión. So, les pido a ustedes que por favor incluyan la lectura en sus actividades en su casa. En nombre de nuestros profesores y personal, esperamos que disfrute y atesore los recuerdos que se crearán esta noche con su hijo y su familia. Los invitamos a seguir pasando tiempo con sus hijos leyendo con diferentes propósitos, pero sobre todo para el disfrute familiar. De nuevo, gracias por visitar nuestro plantel. Un aplauso a todos ustedes por asistir esta noche. Thank you everyone who's joining us this evening. At this time, I would like to recognize our platform guest reader, who is a local native from Eagle Pass, Texas, and is a librarian at the Eagle Pass Public Library. Please help me to recognize our librarian, Chris Olivas. Ms. Olivas, please stand to be recognized. Ms. Olivas will be reading a book to all the students, to all the minors that are present, and to the families as the guest book. And then we are going to have a lot of fun activities to go with the book. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to our minor gems who have a special performance for everyone. I hope you enjoy it. minor gyms. That was really amazing. I want to thank the coaches who help out the students, also Letty's Dance Studio, who trains them every week to get them to be this good. Good job, minors. At this time, I would like to extend a special thank you to the people that put together this literacy meeting and literacy night for all of you, for all our minor families. I'd like to recognize, first and foremost, my assistant, Ms. Celia Villaseñor, for putting together this amazing family literacy. Thank you, Mrs. Villaseñor. To support Mrs. Villaseñor with all the planning and all the activities, I would like to thank our school secretary, Elida Gonzalez, who assisted in putting all the planning and all the delicious popcorn that you will be having at the end of this evening. I also want to thank two people who were working on the stage from early morning to late in the afternoon, getting everything perfectly ready for our guest reader, to have a perfect scenery to go with the books. I want to thank Ms. Luz Baca, our school librarian. Let's give her a big hand. Thank you, Mrs. Baca. Assisting Mrs. Baca, also, we would like to recognize our instructional aide, Ms. Ritza Roman, who also assisted with all the decorating and everything that was planned for Literacy Night. Before we turn it over to Mrs. Villaseñor for her to go over the plans for this evening, I do want to invite you parents and families and guests that are here to visit our school library. We do have the Scholastic Book Fair open this evening. We have books and a bunch of items that are available for sale. So please make sure that you visit the library for any purchases. If you're wanting to come back tomorrow and Friday, we will close the library on the book fair on Friday. But take advantage this evening that you're here to visit and make your purchases. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Villaseñor for her to give all the plans. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Hello, minors, how are we? Thank you so much for being here. It makes us very happy to see so many families here along with their children, ready to enjoy a great book and a lot of reading activities, okay? So we are not all going to be in here the whole time. You should have received a half-a-page paper, either green, pink, or purple. Todos recibieron una nota que decía diferentes pasos que íbamos a seguir, ¿verdad? Okay, so on your form, okay, we're going to have the alternate learning class, 1st and 2nd grade are going to be together. Then 3rd and 4th grade are going to be together, and 5th and 6th grade are going to be together. And the way this is going to work, we're going to have 3 different rotations, okay? So the first slip for alternate learning 1st and 2nd grade is going to be a read aloud. So there's 3 stations. It's a read aloud. The read aloud is going to be in the cafeteria. And then the second station for that group is going to be the reading activity, which is in the gym. And then the third rotation is going to be in the library for the book fair. Okay, so everybody's going to visit each of the rotations, and the rotations are going to be 25 minutes long. Okay, so it's important. The teachers are going to be following with their rotation, and we hope that everybody enjoys all the activities that are planned for tonight. Okay, makes us very happy to see so many of our minors here. Let's give it up for the gems one more time. And right now, students, I want you to turn and look at your family, and I want you to thank them for joining you here tonight. Ahorita a los estudiantes quiero que les digan a sus padres muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta noche. Vamos a hacer memoria. So are you ready to make minor memories? Okay, so then what's going to happen is right now, I need us all to go to the locations for the first rotation, okay?
guys ready? So my name is Miss Olivas, and I work at the Eagle Pass Public Library. And I was so honored to be invited here today by Miss Lucy Baca and everybody else to be your reader today. The name of the book is Memory Jars, and it's by Caldecott honoree Vera Brosgo. Caldecott Award is what they give to children's authors that illustrate their own books, and that's one of the highest honors you can have when you're an author, a children's book author. So here we go. Memory Jars. On a hot, sweet, sticky July day, Frida went blueberry picking with her gran. Deep among the bushes full of fat blue fruit, Frida ate as many as she picked. So here she is, and she's picking all the blueberries on the tree. She's with her grandma. Says, they tasted like sweet sunshine. They were the best right then. And they'd never be better. That was like the best time of the year to pick a blueberry, and it was the best time to eat one too, because it tasted the best that day. She ate until her fingertips were purple and her stomach felt like a giant blueberry. I can't do it. I can't eat them all, moaned Frida. Calm down, French fry, said her grandma. We can put them in a jar and save them. I use them for my special jam every year. It was your grandpa's favorite recipe. So she had a lot of blueberries left, and she was so disappointed that she couldn't eat them all, but she was so full that her stomach, it already hurt, but her grandma said, that's okay, because we can put them away and use them to make jam later. So Frida remembered her grandpa eating toast every morning with glossy purple jam on it, making sure it was spread all the way to the crust so every last bite was sweet. Frida remembered her grandpa. So she's remembering when she was smaller that she would eat the toast with her grandpa and that he would put all the blueberry jam all over the toast. That way every time she bit it, there would be she could taste the blueberry. So if we save the blueberries in jars, they'll be just as good as Frida? Yes, said Gram. The jars keep them preserved for a long time, so we can eat blueberries in January if we like. Frida had an idea. What do you think her idea is? Yeah, what do you think? Go ahead.
I think that she's gonna put them in a jar, and then later she could eat it when she's not full.
Yeah.
And maybe she's gonna grab something else and then put it. But when she's more hungry, she can get it.
Okay, let's see what she does. So she tried her idea out on one of Gran's fresh chocolate chip cookies. It was very, very hard not to eat it. She's trying to put the cookie inside the jar, but the cookie's so warm that she's trying to put it in there, but she also wants to eat it. But she put the cookie jar under her bed, said goodnight to Gram. She sort of went to sleep. So there she is, putting the cookie in the jar. Because her gran said if we put the blueberries away, they'll last a long time. So I think she thinks if she does that to the cookie, it'll last forever too, right? So the next morning, she checked. And it worked. The cookie would be warm and yummy forever. She had saved it. Frida wondered what she could save, what else she could save. She saved the cookie and she tasted it in the morning and it still tasted good.
She could eat it but with gel on it.
Maybe. Let's see. So she was gonna need a lot more jars. Look at all the jars she went to go get. Yeah. That's a lot of jars, right? Frida saved all kinds of things. She saved the warm cookie. She put some Halloween candy in the jar, a stuffed animal that still had the tag on it, some little robin eggs. She put her brand new crayons. She puts her sneakers, some poppy flowers, a rocket pop that was unmelted. She put all those things in the jar. Frida didn't want Jack, her best friend on the entire planet, to move to Arizona at the end of the month. And neither did he. So what do you think Frida's gonna do with Jack? She put him in a jar so she could save him forever, so now he wouldn't leave to Arizona. I don't know how she did it. Mrs. Alexander's beautiful singing voice drifted over the neighborhood, as it did every Saturday afternoon, straight into one of Frida's jars where the song would live safe and never end. The cloud that looked just like a unicorn would never be pushed back into a mushy nothing by the wind, and the laser bright rainbow would never dim as the sun moved. So she was putting everything into the jar to save it. Even the rainbow. I don't know how she did it. The full moon, her favorite shade, would never fade away and leave the sky empty and dark, making Frida feel alone. She took the stars also while she was at it. She put the moon and the stars. I don't know how she did it. She has an incredible imagination.
I think she's dreaming about it.
Maybe she is. Finally, Frida's favorite things were locked away in all the jars. Everything would be saved and safe, just the same forever. So there she is with all the jars, with all the things that she wanted to save and keep safe and to keep forever. There's no way, right? Almost everything. Who is she trying to save now? Her grandma. She wants to put her grandma in the jar too.
So she can survive forever.
Forever, so she can put her forever. And she's looking at the jar, and she's looking at her mom, at her grandma, and her grandma's like, and then her grandma says, well, all right, French fry, anything you like. So her grandma's gonna try to get in the jar. The neighborhood was very quiet as Frida and Gran went home. Why do you think the neighborhood was quiet? Because she put everything in the jar. And look at her room and look at the kitchen. It's full of jars. So the toast was warm and crunchy, but it was missing something sweet. She spread the jam all the way to the edges, and it tasted like, what do you think it tastes like when she did that? Blueberry. What else? Tasted good, but what else do you think it tasted like? Sometimes when you taste something, I think it brings back like a lot of memories, and you can remember a lot of things that you did whenever you ate that for the first time. So let's see what happens. She remembered everything and everyone that she put in the jars, right? And she's happy, right? Because she can remember everything and everybody. Look at how beautiful all her memories are. So Frida remembered. Now she's with her grandma. So what do you think she did? Did she take everything out of the jar? All her, well, because you can keep them in your memories, right? You don't have to have them inside there to forget them. On a cold, blustery day in December, Frida had breakfast with her Gran. Whoops, we ran out of jam, said Gran. Then she took a bite, and it was delicious, just like she remembered. So what's gonna happen every time she eats the blueberry jam? Everything, because nobody can take those memories away from you. You don't have to put them in a jar. The end? You think it's the end? Or you think Frida's gonna try to do something else? I think she's gonna have to write another book so we can remember. The end. Whenever you get a chance, you can check out the book at the library and look at in the back. It gives you a recipe on how to make blueberry jam.
Did we enjoy the read aloud? Yes? Do you have something in common? Can you make a connection with the main character in the story? With Frida? What did she have a lot of? Jars, right? And what was she putting in those jars?
A lot of things.
Lots of different things, lots of memories, right, boys and girls? So what we're going to do right now, okay, is we are going to be creating our own memory jars, okay? Raise your hand, how many of you have memories? We all do, right? Some good, some great, some not so great. And what we want to do right now, we're going to be talking about two different reading strategies, okay? The first one is called accountable talk. And you do this in your classroom all the time. Okay, you talk about what you read. So we're going to participate in accountable talk, and then we're going to also do another strategy, another reading strategy that's called response to reading. Okay, and we do this in the classroom as well. Okay, but I want you to share with your family these two strategies. So I'm going to walk you through the strategies before we create our memory jar. Okay, so at the center of your table you have a box. In that box, or around the box, by this rotation, you're going to find a paper that has both questions in English and also in Spanish. Okay? Lo que vamos a hacer ahorita es, ya asistimos al libro, ¿verdad? Memory Jars. Y ahorita vamos a hablar con nuestras familias tocante una memoria favorita de nosotros. Okay? So the first question, what I want you to do with your family, okay, is think about your favorite family memory. You're going to talk to your family about that memory, and then you're going to talk to them about what makes that memory so special to you. Okay? Piensa en tu recuerdo familiar favorito, compártelo con tu familia y luego van a hablar de qué fue lo que hizo, lo que era tan especial de esa memoria, ¿ok? So, primero van a hablar de su memoria favorita y luego van a explicar qué hace esa memoria tan especial y luego la van a escribir en una tarjetita que está ahí en la cajita de su mesa, ¿ok? So you're going to write, boys and girls, your favorite family memory, and you're going to write that on your little index card that's at the center of your table. So let's take 4 minutes to do that.
time, your evening, to be with the Seco Mines Elementary minors. We truly appreciate your time. Thank you. First grade student. Raise your hand if you're a first grade student. Let's see if you're listening, boys and girls. I want a first grade minor to come up and do the drawing. Teachers, if you see a first grade student, okay, go on to, oh, we have one minor Jen who's a first grade student. She's gonna follow on your name. Thank you. And I'll announce the winner. The winner is a 5th grader, Orlando Rodriguez. Orly, are you here? You're the winner of the first prize. Thank you. And draw a pink paper. And the winner is Matthew Tapia. Next we have Matthew Tapia. Let's have Matthew up here. Oh, his sister of parents. Thank you. We have one more prize. I'd like a 3rd grade student to come up and help us. Send me a 3rd grade student. Asaria. She's going to select a green one. Thank you. The winner is Samantha Gonzalez. Come up, Samantha Gonzalez. And we do want her to come up so we can take a picture with her prize. She's in Miss Mabel's class, I think. Okay, that concludes our raffle and that concludes our Making Memories family night. So again, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much. Gracias por el